Hi everyone. Today's video is going to be on differentiation between PMP PGs, how we set them up, how we troubleshoot them, and how we actually find out in big agencies these deals work and what we do with these deals on daily basis. So I got this question from LinkedIn from one of my subscribers and I really appreciate it. I have got a list of questions to make videos on, and soon I will be making each and every video. So stay tuned with my channel and let's get into the video right away. Okay, how deals actually work inside big agencies. We will be discussing the setup and the troubleshooting of PMP and PG deals specifically, and this video is curated in a way that you would be able to clear your interviews with it, because my main motive is to get you into the programmatic industry. Once you are in the industry, you can learn yourself using your mentors and using these videos. Okay, so we will be discussing how these deals are structured, negotiated, set up in DV360, and then the troubleshooting when they are not pacing enough or they are not delivering the required performance. So the part one is how deals get built. What is PMP versus PG, the real difference, who negotiates what with whom, how a deal becomes a deal ID, setting it up inside DV360. And the part two would be when deal breaks, what actually drives real performance when it's not pacing, not targeting, not delivering. The deal troubleshooter, how it works. I'll show you some screenshots and a real scenario start to finish. The first question, the difference between PMP versus PG. Okay, let's understand it by knowing the full form of PMP and PG. So PMP stands for private marketplace and PG stands for programmatic guaranteed deal. So as the name suggests, when it's a private marketplace and you're buying up a deal, you're setting up your own targeting, it's a PMP. When it's a guaranteed number of impressions promised to you, it's a programmatic guaranteed. So what it is? PMP is a invite only auction with negotiated floor price and terms and conditions. Whereas PG is fixed inventory reserved upfront. There is no auction. Okay. So the main difference is, even if you choose PMP, you will still be competing in the auctions. You will be competing with other advertisers who are paying a certain amount for a same impression or ad place that you are competing for. Whereas in PG, you are not in that competition. You have already been promised that you will be delivered X number of impressions at X number of price. So the pricing model, the second point, as we just discussed, is in PMP is private. It's non-guaranteed CPM floor. CPM floor price can vary, which means in simple terms, cost per 1000 impressions can vary in PMP deals. Whereas in a PG deal, it is fixed. It's a guaranteed CPM or 1000 impression price. Then in PMP, volume is also guaranteed, right? No. So in PMP, volume is not guaranteed. You compete for impressions because you are competing with other advertisers who are in competition with you. Whereas in PG, the X number of impressions are always reserved for you because it has already been promised that we will be providing you, let's say, 10,000 impressions at 1000 rupees price. So that's a PG deal. Where you do not know how many impressions might come is a PMP deal. Which deal is best for you? Who it suits? So PMP deal is suited for those campaigns which are always on, like they keep on running, things keep on changing. PMP deals are great for that because for a long time you will be running these campaigns. You do not know how much impressions might come. There could be chances that you are being guaranteed 10,000 impressions in a PG deal at 1000 rupees, but in a PMP, in a time frame when traffic is not that expensive, at that time of the year, you might get 20,000 impression as well in a PMP. So that's a benefit. Okay. Then PG deal is suited best for premium placements, brand safety critical buys. When it's critical, when you want certain number of impressions at certain number of price, when a volume needs to be guaranteed, at that time PG deal must be running. Now, what is risk of PMP? The risk is deal can under-deliver if bids lose, because you are competing with other advertisers right now, so you have a chance of under-delivery. You might not be able to spend your entire budget, or you might not be able to achieve a goal of, let's say, 10,000 impressions. Whereas in PG, it's publisher risk, because they have already guaranteed me that we will be providing X number of impressions to you. So they must fulfill the reserved volume. The next topic. Now it is behind the scenes of how life cycle from publisher inventory to a live line item, how a deal is set up and how it works. So the first step is publisher packages inventory. Okay, a site application defines audience, placements and floor CPM. So everything is defined. A package is created by publisher. Now who is a publisher? A publisher is a person like Netflix, like Amazon, like any website owner, which guarantees you a number of impressions based on how many impressions he gets, or like that particular application or website gets every day. So they create a package. Now they have data of what kind of people visit their website, right? They create a package of what they are going to offer to the advertiser. The advertiser will show his or her ad on their particular publishing page, which could be Netflix, a OTT, a website, a application, it could be anything. Then the second step is agency trader request access. So the agency trader like me or you who will be working in an agency, we request accesses to the publisher that we need this much inventory, and these are our targeting settings, these are our requirements. So we reach out via representative or marketplace listing. So now there are two ways of reaching out to publishers. Number one way is directly reaching out to the publisher via email. You must be having their emails if you work in a big agency, or you can also go to the partner page in DV360 and then go to marketplace on the left hand side and click on the marketplace. Then you will find various publishers listed there along with representative emails. So you can reach out via that page also. Then the terms get negotiated. Okay, the floor CPM price, volume, viewability and brand safety. So you can select these settings from that marketplace. Like there are certain publishers who have already created these packages and they have listed it out that this is the floor price CPM, this would be the volume and viewability that I am offering. If you are interested, you can buy my package right away. Or you can, if you want certain kind of negotiations or customizations in that particular deal, you can reach out to that particular publisher, a representative of that publisher website or application, let's say Netflix, and then you can tell them, okay, the floor CPM price, I'm okay with that, but I want volume of 15,000 instead of 10,000 that you are offering. And I also want certain websites or certain age groups to be only shown my ad. So such targeting settings can be done over email, like whichever way you are most convenient with. You can talk with the publisher upon your own convenience. The fourth step is deal ID is issued. Okay, then after the deal is negotiated, the publisher or exchange generates a unique deal ID, which we will be assigning on our line items, and then that line item would be working on a PG deal. Then deal ID is added to the line item, as I just told you. Trader maps it in DV360 or Trade Desk or Amazon, and then we keep on running these, like it automatically runs. We keep on checking the line item when it starts giving impressions. Now reality check. PG deals also lock in a separate volume plus delivery commitment at step 3. That's what makes them guaranteed. So step 3 was terms get negotiated, as I already told you. There is a lock-in period of separate volume plus delivery commitment, which we already can discuss with the publisher. Now the DV360 setup of these deals, how it is done. So where the deal lives, this screenshot that you just see on your screen right now, it has been created using AI. It is not exactly a screenshot from DV360. It's a mock-up. but it has been created in a way that it looks exactly like how DV360 UI looks. So why I did that? Because it's a compliance issue if you use somebody else's images and somebody else's data if you show it over internet. So it's not right. That's why I use this mock-up image, but it's actually inspired from an actual screenshot. So that's how the deal negotiation tab looks like. So first of all, we have deal name. That could be sports underscore video underscore PMP deal. We could have we finance, PG guaranteed deal, news homepage Q3. These are all deal names. So internal label your team uses, keep it consistent across DSPs for reporting purposes. Because if they would be consistent, then later on when you're using these deal names to fetch up the details, it would be easier for you for those reporting purposes. Second is the publisher name. Publisher could be Times Internet, Score Hub, MarketWire. So that's exactly how publisher name looks like. These are the publishers whom you negotiate with, who confirm the inventory source. Then comes the floor CPM price. When you go to this negotiation tab, you see such stuff. And the floor CPM price is what the publisher is offering you. It could be $4.20, $8.50. So the negotiated price floor, this is what gets tightened or loosened if a deal is not pacing. So when deal is not able to deliver the X number of impressions, the publisher loosen out on the particular CPM, or like from 8 they will increase it to 10, so that we are able to get that number of impressions and overall average remains at 8. Then come the last column, which is the status. Status is negotiating or live or archived. So nothing spends until it's live. When status is live, then only deal starts spending. It's self-explanatory. Okay, now we come to the optimization levers. I will give you a brief introduction of all these levers. They are self-explanatory. So the first is floor CPM realism, which means if you set too high versus the open market and you simply lose every auction, your deal CPM should be competent with what is going ongoing market CPM price. Inventory quality and package. A poorly scoped package like wrong websites, wrong formats, tanks eligible volume. You could be getting better volume, you could be getting more eligible customers, but the inventory you selected is not that much of a quality inventory. Okay, the creative approval and specifications. Publisher side creative review can block delivery long before pacing is the issue. So your creatives should be checked thoroughly if they are very much specified to the publisher website. Then comes frequency and targeting overlap. If you stack audience layers on top of a deal, it can shrink the eligible pool to near zero. Okay, stacking audience layer on top of a deal means a deal like a publisher is already offering you certain targetings, and over that you want only certain audience who are part of that particular deal should be seeing your ad. So we are tanking our number impressions, and we could actually tank it up to zero, the eligible pool of people who could be seeing our ads. Then budget and pricing caps. Line item level caps can throttle a deal even when the deal itself is healthy. Self-explanatory. Correct deal ID mapping. One typoed or duplicated deal ID and the line item never ever reaches the inventory. Make sure each and every deal ID is copy pasted rather than manually putting it in. And after that also make sure you review it, you QA it once before going live. Then what are the common roadblocks when deals don't pace? What do you want to do? This was the exact question which that particular person asked me. So these are the 4 pointers I have curated on basis of my own experience. I will soon show you the deal troubleshooter as well. You can reach out to me over my Instagram or LinkedIn if you want to understand this even better. But this is the gist of it. If you're trying to clear any interview, if you're already working in the industry, and if you want to work on troubleshooting of the deals, that's how you do it. So the first scenario, if the deal is not pacing, so the floor CPM above market clearing price, these are the pointers you need to check. You need to check what is the floor CPM price which is ongoing in the market right now, and what is the floor CPM price being offered to you in the deal, because that is fixed. Then budget cap too tight for the flight length. Maybe the budget is really less for the number of flight days. It could be a 3-month flight with just $3,000 budget, and in general you have been always running 1,000 when $1,000 per day budget, and suddenly you dropped it down to so low. So you need to check all that. Your budget should be correct. Then low win rate on the exchange side. Win rate is an important metric to check. Please ensure that your win rate is higher on the exchange end. Go to exchange settings and check your win rate. Then not targeting correctly. As we already discussed, audience layer conflicts with deal's own scope. So when it's a deal, do not add your own targetings. Just let your publisher know everything you want in the deal itself. So when they are setting up the deal or sending you the deal ID, they have set up all the targetings in that itself. You do not do any kind of extra layering. Then geo device targeting narrower than the package. Already told you, don't do anything. Tell all your targeting settings to the publisher. Frequency caps, choking eligible impression, even frequency, let publisher know. You don't do targetings when it's a PG deal. Not delivering at all. Okay, deal ID mismatched or expired. That could be the case if maybe your deal ID is expired. You have typoed the deal ID and you're using a previous deal ID now. Creative not yet approved by publisher. That could be the case. Your creative might be rejected at the publisher and it might not be syncing with the size that is available at the publisher end. Then deal still in negotiating and it's not live. You can check that in status at partner level negotiations. Then if the deal is delivering but it's underperforming, what would you do? We will check viewability, brand safety filters. It might be cutting volume. And we will go to the line item level. We will go to deal troubleshooter. We'll select the deal and then we will check, because in the deal troubleshooter itself, we get to see what exactly is blocking our particular number of impressions. It could be factors like viewability, frequency, or viewability plus frequency plus audiences. So check your deal troubleshooter first. And if you want a separate video on just explanation of deal troubleshooter, it's just a matter of 5 minutes. I will explain you by the end of this video, so stay tuned. Wrong inventory format mix for the package. Then line item priority set below auction. So these are all the pointers you need to ensure when deals don't pace or deliver. So this is DV360 Diagnostics, another mock-up page created. This is the deal ID, deal status is live, budget and caps, targeting overlap, creative eligibility, bid request received. So you pull the deal ID and confirm status is live, not negotiating or expired, it should be live. Then we check budget and pacing caps at line item level, not just the deal. Then we isolate targeting layers, remove one at a time to find the conflict. Then we confirm creative is approved on the publisher side, not just the DV360. If a bid requests are low, revisit floor CPM against current market rate. The bid request is low. So this is how the deal troubleshooter mockup looks like, telling you in the last slide. Here you will be where this section says targeting overlap and conflict found. In a similar way in DV360, you will be able to figure out what is the actual conflict and where is the targeting overlap, which is causing this under delivery or underperformance. Then creative eligibility. So let's discuss this fifth point. If bid requests are low, revisit floor CPM against current market rate. Okay, this should be ensured that the current CPM price should be matching the current market price. A real scenario, with the help of a real scenario, let me explain you how the deal that would not deliver, how you can work on that. So the situation here is a PG deal for a finance client sat at 8% delivery 3 days into a 2-week flight. Okay, it's just a 14-day flight and we are just at 8% delivery. Deal troubleshooter flagged a targeting conflict and audience list uploaded at line item level excluded most of publisher guarantees inventory. So that's what happens when you stack in your own audience list or your own targetings in a deal. And that's one of the major reasons I have also faced when people or clients ask us, okay, we are taking this PG deal, but can you also layer up it with our own audiences? There is no need of that. Okay, just provide all the details to the publisher itself so that they run the deal in a way that you want. What was the fix then? The fix was we removed the audience layer from the deal specific line item and moved it to a separate open auction line instead. Yes, that's how you should be doing it. If it's an open auction line item, you can use your own audience list, the audience list that you want to curate or you want to serve on. Do not mix it up with the PG setup. Then what was the result? The delivery caught up to 96% of committed volume by the end of the flight with no floor CPM change needed. So your deal was able to deliver what they promised with the fixed CPM price they promised. Key takeaways from today's video. PMP is negotiated and non-guaranteed. Okay. PG is reserved and guaranteed. Pick based on risk you are willing to own. Every deal is only as good as its deal ID mapping, targeting layers, floor CPM versus the live market CPM price. When something breaks, isolate the layer, deal, line item, creative, and targeting before touching the price. And then the deal troubleshooter is your first stop, not your last resort. Check it before escalating the things to publisher. Thank you for watching the video till here. I'll see you in the next one. I have a lot of videos coming up because you guys shared a lot of suggestions with me wherein you want videos on certain topics as basic as what is advertising. So I will start with the scratch again. I will make more and more videos like this. Uh, you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can follow me on Instagram if you have any sort of questions, or you can also comment down below whatever next video you want me to make. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. Happy weekend. Bye bye.